here I have two images to help you visualize the three metaphors I introduced before. Could you identify what each image stands for? Let's start from the one on the right. So you see Chinese, Irish, Italian, Mexican, Russian all being put into one pot. So eventually, if you stir these ingredients, they will blend together. So this is the melting pot. And on the right hand side, you see Chinese, Italian, Russian being mixed into the salad bowl. So this is the salad bowl. Okay. For salad bowl, it does emphasize cultural distinctiveness, but it fails to acknowledge the fact that cultural integrations does happen. On the left is of course the kaleidoscope. So you can see different factors are being blended together to shape the perspective people use to perceive something. Hopefully these images help you understand what those metaphors better. Okay, we just spent quite a lot of time learning what cultural sensitivity is. Now let's take a look at its polar opposite, which is cultural faux pas. So what is it? A cultural faux pas happens when someone does or says something that is culturally improper, insensitive, or even offensive. So faux pas is French for misstep or false step. So cultural faux pas implies that the offense is caused unintentionally. For example, if someone has no idea what other cultures are, then they might make mistakes when they meet other people from different countries. So they do not make mistakes on purpose. Those mistakes are a result of the lack of cultural sensitivity. So now you know two terms which are the polar opposite of one another: cultural sensitivity and cultural faux pas. Alright, now I believe you are ready for our article. Please follow these steps. Go to Tron class, download the article from the chapter Business Travel. You will see the file that names Importance of Cultural Sensitivity in Business Dealing. Then when you download the file, I want you to read the title and headings to make predictions. Then go through the introduction and each paragraph to figure out what the three components of an introductions are and what the topic sentences for each paragraph are. When you are done with these steps, come back to my video to check whether we have the same understanding of the main ideas in this article. So please pause and do that. Okay, so I assume you did what I asked you to do. Now let's take a look. So when we make predictions, we take a look at the title. So the title here is The Importance of Cultural Sensitivity in Business Dealing. We already know what cultural sensitivity is, but in this article, we are going to talk about cultural sensitivity in doing business. And from the headings, you know there are 5 sections in this article. The first section is Understand the Importance of Cultural Sensitivity. Do your research. Reduce communication barrier. Barrier is also a word we pick up from the reading before. Barrier means a hurdle, an obstacle. And then number 4, review workplace etiquette. So what is etiquette? Etiquette means a set of rules or customs that control accepted behavior in particular social groups or social situations. For example, when you eat in a French restaurant, you might need to know which fork or spoon should be used first or for what food. Then this is an example of etiquette. And finally, show respect and empathy. You should know what empathy is from our previous article. Empathy means the ability to understand other people's feelings. Okay? So from making prediction, we know the outline of this article. Now, when we skim the introduction, we need to figure out three major components, which are background, problem, and solution. So now let me read the introduction for you. In today's global marketplace, it's commonplace to do business with people from all over the world. Whether you are dealing with manufacturers from another country or building an office on a different continent, it's important to be aware of the cultural norms of the people around you. Your customers may be from different parts of the world, even if they are all locally situated in one city. So don't underestimate the importance of being culturally sensitive. Okay, so the background here is, of course, this sentence is commonplace to do business with people around the world. So what does commonplace means? It is an adjective that describes something that happens very often or is often seen. So it's common for people to do business with people all over the world. And why is it important for us to know this? Because we need to be aware of the cultural norms of other cultures. So norms means accepted standard of behaving or doing things. So different cultures have different norms. They have different standards. So what is okay in Taiwan may not be okay in other countries. So the argument of this article is we cannot underestimate, okay? Underestimate means to take something lightly. The importance of being culturally sensitive. So we need to take the importance of being culturally sensitive seriously. Okay, so this is the result you should get by skimming the introduction. Okay, now let's do some close reading for the body paragraphs. For this week, we will just take a look at the first two body paragraphs, which are understanding the importance of cultural sensitivity and do your research. So let's take a look at the first paragraph. For the first paragraph, when you skim, the first sentence is the topic sentence. Cultural sensitivity involves being respectful of other cultures. So let me read this paragraph. Cultural sensitivity involves being respectful of other cultures. Understanding and knowing about different cultures and accepting the differences and similarities helps people to communicate more effectively and build meaningful relationships. Our culture affects many aspects of our lives, from the way we speak to the way we use hand gestures. Our attitude toward our colleagues and superiors come from our cultural viewpoint, as does the way we expect to be treated as customers. So what are the main points here? The main points here is, okay, first, we need to know and accept differences from different cultural backgrounds, okay? Because the way we understand different culture do influence the way we treat them, okay? So first, you must have the awareness of cultural differences, and you also need to know this awareness shape the way you interact with other people. Okay, so this is an easy paragraph. Now let's go to the second paragraph. Do your research. Whenever I ask you to identify topic sentences, I always ask you to pay attention to transitions because the sentence that comes after a transition is usually more important. So the topic sentence here is the one that comes after, however. So it should be your business attitude toward cultural sensitivity should start at the top. So let me quickly read this paragraph for you. Cultural awareness in business involves preparing and learning about the different cultures with which your business interacts. However, your business's attitude toward cultural sensitivity should start at the top. Build the importance of cultural sensitivity into your company policy so that your employees know to show everyone the respect they deserve, regardless of whether or not they are of different cultures. Establish consequences of not being culturally sensitive so that your employees understand the weight of this matter. If your company does business with people from a particular country, for example, offer your employees training so that they can learn the cultural norms from that country. Lead by example and participate in the training. If your customer service representatives frequently speak with people who have different native languages, consider learning a few key phrases in those languages together as a team. This shows your customers how much you value their businesses and shows your employees the importance of cultural sensitivity. Okay, so what's to take away here? First, a company, if you are the boss of a company, you need to make sure cultural sensitivity is required in your company policy. If an employee does not have cultural sensitivity, you need to let them know that there are consequences. Meaning, when they don't respect someone from another country, they will be penalized. Okay, they will be penalized so that everybody can understand the weight of this matter. So the weight of here, weight does not refer to how heavy something is. Here it means influence or importance. So letting your employees know there will be consequences if they do not have cultural sensitivity can help them understand the importance of this matter effectively. And employers should lead by examples. So meaning they need to set a good example to be a good role model for their employees. And they need to start trainings and even participate in training so that the employees in this company can work well with people from different cultures.